For us, it was June 6th. You have limited hours, then you have a preseason ramp up here. We've been going for 6 weeks since they've been back in school, and again, there's some limitations on the amount of hours, but we've been at it for, if you count the summer and the 6 weeks here, 14 weeks. So it's not quite the same. It's a little bit anticlimactic from what it used to be, but again, it is, the hours are off, and what it does mean is you're 42 days from your opener. So we're 42 days from the opener with Green Bay, and I think we're a little bit less. I think we're 36 from Tusculum here. So it is around the corner. I'm looking forward to getting to work with these guys. Been a great group to work with so far, and so now we'll kind of get to it here in a more consistent fashion. But we've got a lot in and put a lot of work in here these last 3.5 months now to kind of get ourselves ready for this point, and now it's really more tuning it up and kind of putting the final touches on, so we're ready to roll come November 1st.
Good to see some physicality out here today. You guys at the end, too, offense and defense. Good to see. I mean, you guys have been going hard all summer, but good to see that on the first day of practice, Coach, I'm sure.
Yeah. I mean, we're down a few bodies. We had a couple guys banged up. Cade got hurt last day of the preseason, so he wasn't out here, and Coop and Rob Martin, so we're down a few guys, but it was good. I think, guys been very competitive. That's one thing with this group is really intrinsically motivated. I think it's a really tough group, really committed group, really intrinsically motivated group, and that's made practices a lot of fun. I think night and day from where we were at this stage last year. I just think having a lot of guys returning, kind of understanding expectations, and these new guys coming in are really competitive as well. So it's made for really physical, really competitive practices. Going back even into June, and you wonder as you go through this, the runway is pretty long from summer all the way to November, how they're going to be in terms of competing against each other, and they continue to really ramp it up and go hard. So that's a really good sign.
You're definitely more comfortable year two now, Coach, I'm sure, after last year. That's the first part of this question. Second part, do you have a checklist you want to see this time of the year? Certainly you want everyone to stay healthy, but how are you feeling year two? More comfortable, I'm sure, and then obviously what are you looking for this time of the year as you guys get set for that season opener and exhibition?
Yeah, of course. You're way more comfortable year two. I think year one's always, you're kind of running uphill and you're just adjusting to everything. I think your feet are under you a little more here in year two. All the guys that are back are, guys that have had a chance to coach and I think there's just a level of comfort with those 7 returners. And then the new guys, I had a chance to really, get to know them, recruit them. Obviously some of them like Cavassier, Trent, I've had, pretty long, relationships with, either competing against Trent, obviously coaching Cavassier, Robbie and Rob and all these other guys, et cetera, normal relationships within the recruiting process. So, it's been it feels much more settled across the board, and across, in every area. So, certainly, everything's a little more, a little more normal for us here and going into year two, and hopefully that'll show itself on the court, as we get ready for the season. In terms of a checklist, I think we always do as coaches. You have things you got to get to, and we really try to lay a foundation the summer and in the preseason, and now as we get to where the hours restrictions are less, we can practice more consistently, or at least for longer periods of time. What you're trying to do is probably get to the more kind of detailed stuff on offense and defense, put in more plays, get to more stuff. We couldn't play a game today. We don't have a lot, any out of bounds stuff in, or any side of bounds. So start really putting stuff in. We haven't worked against zone or press, or so we got a lot of stuff we got to touch on. So from a checklist standpoint, it's really getting into probably more of that granular stuff, esoteric stuff that you got to do to be ready to play games. So we got that, and we really got 6 weeks before Green Bay, so we got some time to get to it. But the foundational pieces were laid here over the previous 3.5 months, and now it's really just going in and fine-tuning those things, adding those pieces, and then trying to make sure we check all those boxes by November 1.